The first meeting. The cold air hung still around the altar as Jess stood alone, her pale fingers wrapped tightly around the simple cloak the villagers had given her for warmth. The iron gates of the Hollow's keep loomed before her, massive and unmoving, etched with sigils no human tongue could speak aloud. Behind her, the village elders had long since vanished into the mist, leaving their tithe in silence. Then, without sound or warning, the air shimmered. From the shadows, figures emerged, humanoid forms made entirely of darkness, their limbs long and slightly blurred at the edges, like smudges in the fabric of reality. They had no eyes, no mouths, only soft, smoky outlines, and a silent presence that pressed down on the senses. One extended an arm towards her. Trembling, Jessica nodded and stepped forward. They led her wordlessly through the gates, up vast, winding staircases cut from obsidian stone. The keep's walls breathed with the flicker of magic and candlelight, casting dancing shadows along every wall. The deeper she traveled, the more time seemed to stretch. The air was heavy with something ancient, something watching. Finally, a massive chamber opened before her. At the far end, upon a throne carved from cold, gray stone and veined with glowing orange crystal, sat the Hollow Emperor himself. He was unlike anything she had imagined. A humanoid rabbit sat before her, tall-eared and cloaked in thick black fur. His lithe form somehow radiated overwhelming strength. The orange markings on his body pulsed like slow heartbeats. His eyes, deep voids of swirling orange and black, fixed on her with a gaze so intense she felt her thoughts scatter for a moment. Her breath caught. The air bent subtly around him, as if he drew in reality with every blink. He did not speak at first. Instead, his head tilted slightly, ears twitching just once. She sensed he was studying her. Not her body, though she was well aware of her appearance, but something deeper. Her soul, perhaps? Her fear? Her resolve? Finally, in a low, silken voice, he broke the silence. "You are not what I expected." Jessica swallowed, grounding herself with a breath. "I was sent as Tithe to ensure the safety of my village." His gaze narrowed, lips curling just slightly in a faint show of amusement, or perhaps curiosity. "A woman sacrificed to a monster, and yet you speak with calm in your voice. Why?" She straightened. "Because I've heard stories of a man cursed to wear fur and shadow, yes, but also of justice, mercy. I came prepared to give my life, but I hoped you might still see us as more than pawns." His ears lowered ever so slightly. A flicker of something soft crossed his face before retreating behind his usual veil of indifference. "You are either very brave," he murmured, "or very foolish. I have lived long enough to know the line between the two is paper thin." Jessica found herself smiling faintly. Then perhaps I am both, but I would still speak with you, if you'll let me. The Emperor stood. She hadn't realized how tall he was until that moment. He descended from the throne like a shadow falling, slow and deliberate, every step echoing through the quiet chamber. When he reached her, he paused, eyes traveling across her face, not with lust, but with awe, and perhaps something deeper. They called you a sacrifice, he said, his voice a quiet storm. But I see no offering. I see a flame. Jessica's cheeks flushed. You're rather poetic for a creature of fear and legend. He chuckled, low and brief, like it surprised even him. Perhaps I have forgotten how to speak plainly around beauty. She blinked. I did not think someone like you would flirt. He stepped closer, the warmth of his magic pulsing in the air between them. I didn't think someone like you would make me remember how. Silence fell again, but it was warmer now. The chamber had softened, as if recognizing a change in its master. Then, turning, the Hollow Emperor gestured toward the throne, beside which stood a smaller stone seat, unoccupied for untold centuries. Sit with me, Jessica of the village, he said. Not as a tithe, not as a servant, but as a confidant, an advisor, flame to my shadow. Jessica hesitated only a moment before nodding. Her bare feet echoed softly as she approached, each step carrying the promise of something far greater than anyone from her village could have ever imagined. She would not die tonight. She would rise.